I gotta try and get better in my scheduling. I want to try and do these during the day where I don't, because right now I'm doing this at, what time is it? I'm doing this at, it's right now 1 a.m. and I really should be in bed because I've got work in the next like 6 hours. But this is when like my brain juices get flowing and when I actually feel like I can talk. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I am very much one of those person that during the day I'm just chilling. I really don't really want to do anything on my days off. But then like during the night around 8, 9 o'clock when I should be getting ready for bed is when like my whole brain just starts flowing. Many people are like that. I am unfortunately one of them, and then that kind of unfortunately not like messes up my sleep schedule heavily, but just enough to where it makes it annoying. Anyway, running into this. So I'm not trying to be like dark and depressing with this question, but when was the last time you have ever felt true happiness, true joy in the world, completely unfiltered, where you actually felt like the stress, adulting, just everything that is just that makes living tough, just all that kind of just floats off your body. When was the last time you felt that way? Unfortunately for me, I really don't know the last time I've truly, truly been happy. I mean, I have segments, but I mean, have I been happy within at least the last month? Not really. Okay, now, when I say like happiness and joy, I laugh with friends at work. I love to talk to my family when I get the chance to do so. All of that is great. I love all of that. But that is, yes, it's a joyous moment, but do I feel pure dopamine, pure joy from those transactions? I don't know. I mean, then again, that is also just me as a person. I'm a very closed off person, so there is that aspect that probably plays a huge, huge part in the feeling of lack of joy in my life. Understandably so. Anyway, um, yeah, I mean, what? For me at least, birthdays as a kid, I loved that shit. That was like, birthdays as a kid, oh, man, I mean, I had, a shitload of friends, and during that time frame of pretty much when I was adopted at the age of 2 to the age of, 13, 14, around that time period, dude, birthdays felt amazing. They were such an amazing part of my life. And I unfortunately don't remember them that well. I think there is one that I do remember relatively well, which was maybe my fourth or fifth birthday. My dad built me a Incredible Hulk cake. It was like a green icing. I don't know what the flavor was, but it was good. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk cake and like the design, flawless. Flawless, dad. Absolutely flawless. Or maybe my mum, because she did also go through like a strange phase of like making a shitload of cakes for like events and just personal events and personal use. Yeah, what? Because birthdays when I was a kid, it was a event where I could invite my friends at the time and just fuck around, have fun without the. It was just pure, pure joy. There was no ever like hate. Nobody ever really judged anyone. Because when you're a kid, you're a kid. I mean, hate and what's another word? I mean, hate and I guess differentials are breeded from, the outside. Because again, a kid is not born to hate. A kid is born to learn. They suck everything in like a sponge. They take everything in. I'm diverging now, but just those all of the events. I wish I could feel that way again, but again, many people reach a certain age, which is around the young, mid-teens age, like 17, 18, sometimes 16, where birthdays aren't as fun anymore. They just don't have the same feeling. But then again, it is also a generational thing. When you're a kid, you don't drink, you're not out there getting, fucked up. You're playing tag, hide and seek. You're a kid. It's, yeah, I mean, shit. It was a hell of a time. I truly, truly do miss those feelings of just being able to dick around with being completely stress free. Anyway, just the no responsibility part. And it's, I mean, there's some portions of life where you don't have to have much responsibility, but responsibility as you adult is just ingrained. It is what it is. There's not really much anyone can do about it. Another one that I loved was learning how to skateboard. That was actually kind of like another kind of rolling into the whole birthday thing was, I think, maybe Christmas or my birthday, one of the two. I got a Christmas present or a birthday present. That part I don't remember so well. Of a Plan B skateboard. I actually got the shirt on Lakai, which is a skateboarding brand, and dude, I went through a huge skateboarding phase. I still love it. I have a skateboard over there actually. I just unfortunately live in upstate where winters are hardcore and you don't really. I mean, we have indoor skate parks, but like, I haven't touched a skateboard for maybe about 10 or 11 years. And yes, I'm young, but like, I can't do that shit anymore. Okay, I can still ride. I could probably do an ollie or so, but like, that's probably about it. But during my university days with my roommate Ben, but I'm still in contact with, love you, dude. Holy shit, we would we would skate the campus at night. We would smoke some weed sometimes and just go to the campus. We would either actually skate to the campus or drive to the campus. Most time we would skate to the campus because in the UK, our version of local is like a 10-minute walk versus the American version of local for most is like a 10-minute drive. So anyway, it's it was one of those just pure blissful feelings of it was such a segmented portion of my life that just absolutely made my day. After a really shitty day at university or a really shitty day at work, my roommate Ben would just, say, we'd text each other and just say, fuck it, fuck everything. Do you want to grab your board? Let's skate the campus. Because this campus had like this, like marble, or like relatively flat marble floor. And it was just a dream to just cruise on that, do tricks, and plus it also helped that the security was very lax, so we didn't have to try and force our way through. It was an open campus, so literally anyone could pretty much go there and skate or do anything. There is, oh my god, there is one video, I think I still have it on Instagram, I think it's on my archive though, where I, I don't, I don't know why I did it. I think I thought it was a good idea at the time. It really was not. We had two railings about just larger than shoulder width, but it was the two railings about yay, kind of, width apart. I was like, you know what would be a really good idea? If I stick my board to where the middle part was just lying flat and just balancing on there, and I just sit down, I roll off, and I jump off. If you can kind of imagine that scenario, you could most likely imagine what happens next. I eat shit. I eat it. Oh my god. So I get on the board, I roll down, and my brain just completely disconnected, and I forgot to jump. I forgot to just give it a little bunny hop. And because of that, I just slipped out. My board slipped out of me. I I wouldn't say I flipped, but like my just like the where you just the beginning of your butt meets your spine is where I hit my is where I hit on this concrete floor. Not hard enough, as you can see. I can move around. I'm not paralyzed, so thank you. But yeah, it just there was this fucked up pinching sensation on my back that felt terrible, and I was like, I mean, if I can try and find the video, I'll like put it somewhere here maybe, but like, oh my god, it was bad, but funny as fuck. Now that I can talk about it. It was funny. I mean, even during the time, I found it fucking hilarious. Skateboarding as well was a way for me to connect with people as well, because that's actually how I met my friend who lives in Buffalo now. His name is Drew. I was actually wearing a another skate shirt that said "Skate or Die" on the chest area, and this was during, I think, bio. He comes in, looks at my shirt, and says, "That's a cool shirt. Do you skate?" I was like, "Sure." I think this is how the interaction went. He might know a little better than me. And he was like, "Do you mind if I sit next to you?" This was also pretty much, this was my first day of high school, yet coming from the UK, coming to the US, my first day of high school, and that was my first interaction with, and the rest is kind of history. I mean, yeah, we've, you know, did proms, and, yeah, he was my friend, and absolutely love the guy. He is one of the boys, if you will. Yeah, I mean, when I came here, I didn't really know how I was going to fit in. But I'm glad I did. I came here with my family. I mean, I don't really have much of a choice anyway, but it kind of did suck that I was leaving everything in the UK behind, basically starting fresh and new and having to quite literally build myself from the ground up. But I don't regret it, because it's made me who I am today. And sure, do I have questions of, if I stayed in the UK, what would life be like? Sure. I mean, because if I stayed in the UK, I don't think I would ever have made the decision to come here, like, at all. So I'm thankful for that. Now, oh, jeez. Now, this was during my primary school days. So basically, primary school is the UK equivalent, or UK, United Kingdom, British, English equivalent to, I'd say, pretty much middle school, actually. Yeah, middle school. And what? Every Friday, after we finished school around 3 p.m., 3:30, or maybe even less, 2:30, 3 p.m., my parents grandparents, whoever was picking me up from school at that point in time, would go to the candy store every Friday. We would pick up, either a bag of crisps, a bag of sweets, or a drink, and then we would eat those on the way as we were walking home, or eat those as soon as I get home. Yeah. Oh shit. I'm like reminiscing about all of these times, and oh man, shit. Anyway, my absolute go to for like, which is kind of funny now. I do not have a sweet tooth at all. Okay, if you were to give me the option between like a donut versus a burger, I'm gonna choose the burger. I Sweetness is not my first choice. I enjoy it. It's not my first choice. Now, as a kid, though, I loved sweet shit. My absolute go-to was a Curly Whirly or Turkish Delight. We also had After Eights, and another one that I also loved was Freddy, which was a chocolate frog. I think it was called Freddy. We also obviously had, oh man, creme eggs. Other ones we also had Cadbury. I mean, you can find Cadbury here as well in the English section, or at least the overseas section of your local grocery store. Now, the Curly Whirly though was a basically very thin piece of caramel that was then coated in a thin chocolate. Not the most versatile sweet, but nonetheless good as fuck. What is the okay? Let me try and find the equivalent of that, because you guys surely have like a Curly Whirly equivalent. To if I can even spell equivalent, goddamn. A marathon? Do you guys have? Okay, if marathon is a US thing, then let me double check that though. Okay, so basically it's a marathon. So a Curly Whirly is a marathon for you guys. Now another one was the Turkish Delight. Because okay, wait, hold on. Turkish Delight is like rose petals. I think it's Turkish Delight. What is the flavor of Turkish Delight? Okay, flavored with rosewater, lemon, mastic gum, or bergamot orange. Goddamn, jeez. Okay, so my fascination with Turkish Delight came from Narnia, because it was one of the things that I was quite fascinated by. It just looked interesting to me. So for anyone who is a kid and who's never watched The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, it's a book slash movie. Childhood favorite, one of my childhood favorites at least. Turkish Delight is a candy that appears in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and symbolizes Edmund's mistake and desire for more. Yeah, and it was this betrayal part that just didn't really understood. I mean, at the point, all I understood was the Ice Witch was giving the middle child, this interesting looking candy as a bribe. And obviously, as a kid, most of our bribes were like sweets, candies, all that kind of stuff. We didn't really have an understanding of money. We had no understanding of finances, obviously, so we were bribed with candy, sweets, food. And yeah, it was just. So the Turkish Delight was, at least for the one that I had, it was another, obviously the kind of like gelatin rose water, kind of pink, reddish kind of color as like a gelatin cube, and then with a light cover of milk chocolate. I love that shit. That shit was my jam. Quite literally. Like, any chance I could get Turkish Delight, I would do so. I mean, the traditional Turkish Delight, supposedly, I think is just cubes of gelatin and then like a light dusting of powdered sugar. And yeah, they're pretty solid. Like, it's kind of making me crave them now, actually. Anyway, yeah. Another portion of pure joy that I still remember to this day. Well, I mean, I say I remember to this day. The only reason why I remember it is through basically photos and remembering those happier times through physical and malleable things, which was a photo and photo books and all this other stuff. But high school graduation was I enjoyed the fuck out of it because it felt like I was growing up, and but now I'm looking back and I'd be like, I can't wait till school ends. I cannot wait till I grow up, start to make some real big money, and leave the nest egg, which is home, and shit. I kind of wish high school slowed down a little bit because it's the man. There is a term. I think I might say this wrong, but I hope I say it's right. Is you never understand how much you miss something until it's gone. I'm pretty sure that's how the quote is. And yeah, I mean, I hell like the memories, the school, the professors, they were all awesome. And if I could, go back there and be like, enjoy your time because you're gonna reminisce and want to reminisce about these times, I would do so to my younger self. But college, a whole different story. Hated that shit. Anyway, the after party as well was pretty sick. But I don't really remember much about the after party other than what getting slightly drunk with Drew, the high school friend I made on the first day, and really just what? Oh man, yeah. I wouldn't really say it was joy, more just eternal worry. You'd always have the family members saying, "Okay, now high school's over, and you're gonna go to college. What college are you gonna go to, or what are you gonna do now?" It was either college or start working for most people. There was real no, I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna do all this. I'm gonna create something amazing. It was either college or just start working, save money to do something else. That was it. Oh man. Now another thing I absolutely loved was summer holidays. Summer holidays as a kid, they felt so long. They were the greatest holidays. I loved winter holidays as well, but there was just something about the summer holidays in the early 2000s. I mean, it's going to be a different generation thing, but at the time, I wasn't really much of a gamer. I was always an outside kid. Plus, when I was living in the UK, we had the local park, so I would either ask my parents to drive me to the park, or I would just cycle there, basically bike there, or scooter there. And it was called Red Hill Park, and they recently, during that time period, they put in like a basketball court in like this like big green area that they had. So if I can try and envision Red Hill Park to you guys, it was a basically a good portion of it was like kind of like foresty woodland area, and then you had just a big green open space. Very, like when I say big, it was pretty fucking big. And then we would have you would walk maybe literally 30 seconds in the opposite direction of where that green grass big field is, and you would be in the actual like park section with slides, swings, the roundabouts. Are they called roundabouts? No, what are they called? Park round. I forgot what they are called now. Oh no, they are called roundabouts. What am I on about? All right. Anyway, because I'm in my head, a roundabout is a road thing coming from England. Anyway, yeah, there was something about that time growing up, and just and also the fact that whenever I got money to go to the local shop, get candy, get a bag of crisps, get a nice fizzy, sugary drink. I think my parents would give me like £5, which I'm laughing about now, but when I was a kid and under people will know, you guys will know this feeling, and you do miss it. £5 that or $5, £5 made you feel rich as fuck when you were a kid. You felt like you could buy a shitload of stuff. Nowadays, $5, $5, £5, £5, whatever you want to coin it as, can barely fill my gas tank. I need at least 45 to $60. Anyway, yeah, it was. Dude, growing up as a kid was an absolute whale of a time. I'm telling you. Now, summer holidays in the UK versus in the US. But again, that was also a different time period for me. Because summers in the US, I was pretty much in my early and late teenage years, versus in the UK, where I was a young kid, just becoming a teenager. Yeah, I mean, it was also just two different sides, two different generations, but I can remember them relatively well. Because I recently actually got sent some photos from an old friend about the local parks, and he was like, during Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Plus, I also have some like Facebook photos of me at the park, and he would just send them to me saying, "Bro, do you remember the time we would do water balloon fights and all this other stuff?" And he just kind of sent me photos, and like everything just kind of rushed back into my head. Oh, dude. Now, sometimes though in the US was one of them was relatively okay. The only reason why I can kind of remember this one is for not a bad reason, but I was an arsehole to my parents at that one time period, and I'm sorry. And I do regret it, because my parents got on a cruise. My little brother went with them as well. But at this time period, I was also, I think, 17 or 18. And sure, the angsty teen phase played a role, but that was, you know, the way that I treated my parents during that time period was unnecessary, because I think I told them, why do you hate me? Which, again, was stupid on my part, because they don't. They, they loved me, and they do love me unconditionally. So thank you guys. They went on a cruise to Jamaica? No, not Jamaica. They went on a cruise somewhere. Tenerife. No. Anyway, all they did was they went on a cruise. That's all that matters for this story. But I, unfortunately, this was also a time period where I what was driving, got my license. That's actually going to be, the next part of the story of joyousness was when I got my license. Anyway, I was a teenager. I got my license. I was about to be alone in the house over the summer. I graduated high school for a week and a half or 2 weeks. Like, because the only reason why I got to stay is because I acted like an absolute fucking douche to my parents, and it was unnecessary, but I did enjoy the time with that. When I say enjoyed the time, this was also during the time period where I was, you know, partaking in smoking weed, and starting to get into smoking weed. Now, I think it was me, Drew, and we also had a friend called Will. Will still lives here, relatively local. I was like, hey, I have a house to myself. I know you guys you guys want to come over. We can get the pool set up. We can chill, smoke weed, eat some good food. At the time, good food was pizza bagels, chicken strips, a fucking party-sized bag of chips, crisps. It works both ways, and something else. Basically, we just had like a smorgasbord stoner platter, and man, oh dude, thinking about all these things is insane to me. That like I lived a sort of lifestyle, and I at the moment was a hell of a time, and I miss that. I do. Anyway, we smoked weed, we jumped in the pool, we had a few drinks, and what was also about awesome about this was pretty much right after we finished working at Kirby's Bar and Grill, which was the restaurant that we all worked at, but it's just now unfortunately gone. But anyway, yeah, shit. So after we finished all that, I drove home, got the shit, bought the food, got that shit already. Will, I think I also had the weed, or Will and Drew also bought some weed as well. We also had something to drink, so I think Will didn't. He went home relatively early, but then it was just me, Drew, and my dog Ellie, and we just chilled, man. We just basically, I guess the easiest way to coin it as was just young teenage shenanigans for shits and giggles, really what it was. And I'm reminiscing with the story in my head, and I remember it so vividly, almost like a camera is flicking through my head, and oh my god, it was sick. Anyway, now actually talking about that, getting my driver's license was another absolute form of joy, because I mean, now it's honestly just feels more like a chore, if anything. But there are days where I am absolutely thankful that I have my license. And I mean, 90-ish% of the world have their license. Obviously, you know what? More than that. But anyway, the majority of the world has their license. And I am grateful and I am thankful to have my license, because there are days where I just feel the absolute brunt of the day, where I get customers come in for absolute bullshit, and then I get home at the end of the day and I just lie on my bed, and it's just, fuck life, fuck this. And sometimes those car keys just kind of just whisper in your ear, just go for a drive, get some air, find an open place, and just breathe. Getting my license was a doorway to freedom, a new doorway to freedom, and everyone, when they got their license, absolutely knows what I'm talking about. For people who are watching this, who are about to get the license, you will absolutely love the pure joy that you will get of being able to know you can go wherever you pretty much want with ease. Oh man, that was also, another thing was the annoyance of, not annoyance, but let me phrase that differently. The worry that I learned how to drive in an automatic car, and then my first car was an automatic. But I'm so thankful to my parents that they taught me how to drive manual, because I got my other car in the UK, no problems. It just, the whole, obviously driving on the left side versus the right side and vice versa, and then obviously the seats are in a different space. Just the whole spatial awareness I had to get used to. But I passed my tests within 3 tries. What? First try? No. Yeah, it was a hell of a time. So, Mum, Dad, thank you, love you guys. And now, I guess another form of freedom was, or at least another form of growing up and feeling like you're an adult, was my first phone. My first phone was a Nokia something. It was a flip phone of some sort. No, it wasn't even a flip phone. It was a Samsung. It was just like one of those small bricks with like the small screen, and then you had like the keypad right there, and it was just kind of like this small, relatively slim brick, about the size of my hand, about that size. I mean, now my phone is I'm filming on a 15 Pro Max, and this is a 14 Pro Max, and I don't know why I need two phones, but I have two phones. But it's interesting to kind of be like, my first phone was that just generic Samsung phone, but I now have this, but this honestly feels like it does, I wouldn't say more damage, but this gives you access to so much unnecessary shit. But sometimes that unnecessary shit can be super, super helpful. But sometimes it can be absolute poison, and it is what it is. But anyway, that simple phone, I could call friends to meet up, hang out. That's literally all I needed my phone for when I was a kid. Because I had no sense of, you know, business. I had no sense of, you know, mobile games. I mean, also at that point, mobile games were really that big of a thing. So there were all these little kind of categories and niches that weren't necessary at that, basically, time in my life versus now, which I don't necessarily need, but like, I have access to them and I kind of try them. So like mobile gaming and all this crazy other stuff. It's unnecessary for the most part, but for some, an absolute necessity. Now, and one, I think, thing, if I had to say, complete and utter joy in anything out of my life, was adopting our dog Ellie, who is a German Shepherd mix. We think, honestly, she's more Belgian Malinois more than anything, just because of her stature and her fur. Because, I mean, when we adopted her, they said she was a Belgian Malinois. No, sorry, not a Belgian Malinois, a Shepherd mix, but she could either, I think she's most likely not a purebred Malinois, but mostly purebred Malinois. Because she's a slightly smaller stature dog, and I love it a bit because every single chance I could get growing up, I would always do the blethering of, can we get a dog? Every almost chance I could get from the age I could remember of wanting a dog till, now. Yeah, my dad was also one of the ones who said, we're not going to get a dog because I'm just going to look after her. And I think it was also one of the times that we were just going to go look for a dog. We left with Ellie. Because I always wanted a German Shepherd. And when I found out she maybe wasn't a German Shepherd, I could care less. She was a dog, and I loved her to fucking bits. She was our family. And I'm really hoping, obviously I don't, dogs don't really understand it, but I'm really hoping that she found, she found us, and she has found a family. Now, she was named, technically her given name was Electra because she was found and left at the Electra fire station in Texas. I don't know specifically where, but that's how she got the name. We pretty much just kept it, but we just kind of simplified it. So now it's just Ellie instead of Electra, which is just E-L-L-E. For the people out there who are just saying it, no, that's L. Fuck you, it's my dog. That was a bit rude of me, but anyway, we also had a house cat. No, not really a house cat. He was a fucking feral feline. No, feline's a female cat, isn't it? Hold on. I'm pretty sure feline is specifically... Oh, okay, maybe not. Belongs to the family of fishes. Whatever. Feline's cat. I don't care. He was a... What was he? He was a, Ginger Tom. Ginger Tom, and he was a two-faced little fuck. But I also did love him. That's the one thing I just absolutely disdain about cats is you could be, stroking them, they could be chill as fuck. The next... You, take your hand away, you look at it, your shit is all ripped up. Not all cats, but a lot of them are two-faced assholes. But they are cute, so I'll give them that. He has unfortunately passed away due to a sudden death. I'm not going to say how. But, yeah, he lived a good life, though. At least I would like to say he lived a good life. I can laugh about it now. He's been away from us for a while. But Mungo was probably not my first animal. Or no, not animal, not my first pet. My first pet was a fucking guinea pig. Oh my god. Holy shit, I almost forgot about my guinea pig. Nah, dude. Okay, so my grandmother on my dad's side got me a guinea pig for one of my birthdays when I was a kid, and what it was. So at that time, I thought it was a fucking beaver because of the teeth. Because guinea pigs have like just two long ass fucking teeth out here. So the name just kind of stuck. His name was now Beaver, and he was pretty fucking cool as well. I think that was one of the first times I cried for another living entity, was when my guinea pig passed. I absolutely bawled my eyes out. Holy shit, no, I remember this now. Oh my god. Anyway, damn. I can't believe I almost forgot about my first pet. my guinea pig that I coined Beaver because I thought he was a fucking beaver. Damn. Anyway, alright, I'm gonna leave it here because I'm just going through memory lane and just wanting to just kind of reminisce on memoirs of a time of happiness in my life and hoping to find that again at some point or soon or maybe even just later in life. But anyway, with that said and done, I'll see you guys next week. Like, subscribe, share with friends and family. I'll see you guys soon.